Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Rally Academy. My name is Victor, and I'm going to be your host for this morning analysis session. So, let's see. I think we just have a few persons currently on. All right. So, just in the next few minutes, we are going to really kick off the session in the next few minutes. Okay. All right. So, I need to confirm if you can hear me. All right. For those currently on call, please, if you can hear me, just help me with a yes on the chat so that I can know we're on the same page for us to start this review. Okay. Yeah, very well. Thank you, Mr. Pat. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Felix. So, yes, you can hear me. All right. So today is packed with fundamentals. In fact, the rest of this week is packed with fundamentals. So for today, Wednesday, the 30th of July, 2025, you can clearly see the fundamentals that we have, ranging from the major fundamentals that we have. We've had that of AUD CPI around 3:30 a.m. this morning. The CPI, that's the Consumer Price Index, all was bad. Like it came out bad, so we expect the AUD at that time to be weak. Then the next major fundamental we're expecting by 10 a.m. from the Eurozone, we have the German Berlin GDP, which is more major than the Italian Berlin GDP because it's a red envelope. Then by 1:15, basically just 1 hour behind, 1:15, we expect the ADP non-farm employment change. This is a prelude to our NFP, a prelude to our NFP usually. Then advanced GDP by 2:30, um, advanced GDP by 2:30 p.m. Then Canadian dollar also is going to be having our own monetary policy, more like the equivalent of the NFP, the equivalent of NFP for the USD. So they're going to be having their monetary policy reports, the policy rates, Bank of Canada rate statement rather than overnight rates. All is going to be happening later this afternoon. Then later this afternoon also, still on the USD, Canada rather, 30 minutes later, we're going to be having the Bank of Canada press conference. And one of the major fundamentals we're going to be having today is the CPI, sorry, the FOMC. The FOMC is the Federal Open Market Committee from the US, and it's a committee in charge of setting the interest rate. Now, interest rate is a major key parameter to measuring or controlling rather the strength of the dollar when it comes to the US. So irrespective of how every other activities affect the economy, what they do is they have a measure of controlling the economy. One of those fiscal policies that is being put in place to make sure that the strength of the dollar is stabilized. So in case the economy is going bad, things are not looking good, dropping the value of the dollar. So the interest rate will increase and vice versa. So if the dollar is already doing well, they might not increase it, or if it's doing very well, they might just reduce the interest rate also to encourage more investors. Now, the FOMC is going to be coming out by 8 p.m. Now, sometimes the FOMC might not really move, but most times, if FOMC really affects the market, it's going to be massive. So watch out for the FOMC today by 7 p.m., not 8 p.m. By 7 p.m., just watch out for FOMC today. All right. So that's it for the fundamentals of this chart because we don't have. I want to be done before 90, before 9 a.m. Okay. All right. So let's quickly move. Now, the last time I took this review, that was last week, Wednesday, a week ago. I was explaining the need for you to understand how the market actually flows. If you understand how the market actually flows, then the job becomes easier, right? Meanwhile, you can't control the movement of the market 100%. You can only try to predict what seems to be true most often than not. What seems to be true most often than not. Irrespective of how the market moves, it does not move randomly. No, it doesn't move randomly. It's moving from one point to another. And there are always reasons for this. Sometimes we might be playing catch up with the reasons. Some things will just come all of a sudden. Before you get a wind of it, before you get to know about it, you already see the effects on the chart. But most times, you can actually, if you understand the flow of the market, you can understand where price is moving to. And if price is moving in this direction, you can understand, okay, this is where you want to go, right? So now we'll continue, break and retest. Okay. I just want to keep it very simple. There are more to it, but this is the actual breakdown of how you can just look at the market to understand where price is going. So we're going to be looking at the principle of break and retest, right? So we'll start from a higher time frame, work our way down. Uh, for reference sake, let's just use daily, 4 hours, 1 hour, right? So my daily time frame, what I'm doing in my daily time frame is I'm going to be marking out my resistance and my support or resistance. So if price is tending to the upside, I'm going to be marking my resistance, and if price is tending to the downside, I'm going to be marking my support. So there are certain things that you might try to catch up with. If you don't understand, don't worry. This we will also have this particular session recorded on YouTube. So you can head over to YouTube, watch the play, and understand this concept I'm trying to explain. Okay. So we are going to be doing copy and paste. Once you get this, you copy and paste uh, on anything you want, anything. The principle remains the same. Execution might be different, but the principle remains the same. So please confirm once again if you can hear me, because I think um, if you can hear me, please help me with a yes on the chat very fast so that we can continue. Let me know we're on the same page. If you can hear me, please just help me with a yes on the chat. Type yes on the chat for me. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. So the break, retest is easy, but you need to pay attention to how it works, right? So on my daily time frame, I will mark out my key support, my key resistance, right? Now this is how it works. So it's much more effective when you have equal height. So for instance, I have these levels here as resistance levels. Now, if I look to the left again, I'll see that there's a slight resistance up here. If I pick the whole of these zones, this resistance, I connect it with this one also, and I extend it to the future. So what I'm doing is I'm expecting that when price breaks out like this, the best trade I can have is if price comes back all the way down to this place, then I'm looking out to continue buying for that to be upside. Okay, that's how this strategy works basically. Now, if you can find that trade, it's what we call the setup. Then you take the trade. So here we didn't get the full entry. So you'll see now price went as high as this, took it as resistance, then broke it, right? So there's this resistance, and they're close to each other. So I can merge the two and I extend it to the future. So you'll notice that price came back to retest this level now. So I didn't have a trade here, but you have had a trade here. Okay. Now this is just done on a higher time frame. You will have to switch to your lower time frame to take this. Now, currently, the last high I had that gave a breakout this resistance, right? So price just broke out from this resistance level right here. So you can see what's happening right now. Okay. So price just broke out from this resistance right here. And so what I do is you can go to your 4-hour time frame, you can refine this zone. Then for your 1-hour time frame, your lower time frame. So I have a specific area where I'm expecting price to come to, to buy. It came here and it started to buy. So if we had done this before, the first time price came back to this level, then you can apply whatever strategy you want to apply, excuse me, and you start to buy. So you notice that it got to this level, it expected this level, it pulled up, right? Then price came back to retest. So if you didn't take the trade here, you would have now taken the trade at this point. So I can keep riding it, riding it, riding it, riding it, riding it. And we're having multiple entries for some days. It took how many days? One. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On the seventh day, before price stopped going to the upside. So for 7 straight days, you'll be having trades, right? So that is where your patience will pay off. Now price is at this point. So what do you think we should be doing to the euro dollar, the euro USD right now? What do you think we should be doing to euro USD? Should we be buying it or should we be selling the euro dollar? This is an open question and I need the answer. We are doing this analysis together. You can drop your answer on the chat or you can let me know, notify me you want to unmute, say something. Okay, let's see the responses. Buying. Ayachuku said buying. Victor said buying. Manamil said buying. Okay, who else? Okay, Ramdi Bata said buy. Is there nobody selling? Nobody's selling. Okay, yes, buy is supposed to, not you are buying. You are supposed to be looking out for buy trade. Now, what makes your buy valid is this. Price wouldn't just shoot up, right? This is where a lot of traders miss it. Price wouldn't just shoot up. Now, notice the last time price came into this zone here, right? Something happened. And let me explain what happens to you so that you will not fall into traps because there's still a possibility that price can break this support level and go further down. Let me see what this person is saying. Buy, but be careful because of August 1st news price tariff. Okay. All right. Now that's not even the price tariff is not even the major. Now technically, irrespective, whenever you want to buy, news or no news. Now you need something to happen whenever price gets into your zone. So for instance, let's analyze this time it happened and why it respected was because the moment price tapped into the zone, you don't just buy. Now, price started to pull up. Yes, some persons will buy, just risk it and they buy. But for those who want confirmation, now when price goes up, check how price was coming to the downside. Notice that every high, or let me say a major high, was not broken, right? So the structure of the market was that price kept printing lower lows. So this is a high. When price dropped, this high was not as high as this, or it didn't go above it. Dropped, left this as a high. Price went as high, but couldn't go as high or break it. This became our new high. Price couldn't go as high or break it. This became our new high. Price couldn't go as high or break it. This our new high. Price couldn't go as high or break it. This our new high. Price couldn't go as high or break it, right? But this now was the last high before this high. This was the last high. Now, price pushed higher this time, going above this high. So this is where there's a shift in momentum. For a downtrend, we should be seeing lower lows, but for an uptrend, we should be seeing higher highs. So this was the last high. Price broke this high, which means that the origin of the move that broke this high will be our protected move. So I don't expect price to go below this. So whenever you take the trade, your stop loss should be somewhere below this level. So because if price goes below this level the next time, it invalidates the buy you are looking out for. Now, why will I wait for this confirmation? Because if this confirmation holds and it's true, I can buy it for days, right? So that's like a great week for me. I can be buying it for days. So the moment this guy holds, once price goes high, you can wait for pullback, then you start to buy, or even if you are buying anywhere from here, you will still be fine as long as price doesn't go below, right? So price keeps going to the upside. Now let's analyze this one now. So what should be happening? The last high that price left, please I need everyone mute. The last high that price left us is here, right here, which means I would need price to take out that high. Okay. So which means I will need price to take out this high. The moment you can take out this high, right? Then I can wait for a retest. So this zone here, all the way down here becomes my protected zone, which means price shouldn't go below this level anymore. So I can then watch out. The moment price can retrace back, then I can take my trade. Then we'll start rising it back up again. I can aim for this level here, this high point, because there's a lot of liquidity around here for price to come back. So price is not moving uh, randomly. Price is moving in a particular pattern from one point to the other. So there are certain things you need to see that serves as confirmation. Once you see, just place your trade on your euro. You can even use the standard loss, right? If you have that sizable account, use the standard loss, especially if price gets here and starts pulling back up. It's standard loss straight up, two standard loss. This is where you cash out for it. All right. Now I've been watching this trade on GBP USD. This same thing. All right. So let's conclude on the euro dollar. The euro dollar, we are just waiting for this particular, but from all indication, there's a very high chance price will break and keep pushing to the upside, right? But for those who want confirmation, this is the confirmation I just gave you. Irrespective, we are looking at price being bullish for the euro dollar. Now, GBP USD, I did the same thing. Start from my daily time frame. Now, my daily time frame, this was a resistance that was broken, right? So mark this area. Notice that price came back to retest, came back to retest, came back to the test. Now it's back there and see what saved me. This is the reason I didn't enter the trade. Now let's go back to other time frame to see when price bounced off that area, how it reacted, what the confirmation was that made it hold, and why it didn't hold this time. Now notice when price came here this time, this time around, this was the last high it left. This was the last high, which price came above the high to break it, right? So all we need is after breaking it, just wait for a retest. Price retested, and you can start buying after the retest. Very few times it will come, the retest will come back here. Becomes your protected, right? Now just see how many days it took going on. 1 day, okay, this other day, 1, 2, 3, 4. You are on buy and you should be in good profit. Price came not into this zone. Price went up again. Now, guess what? It came into this zone, and this was the last high that price left us. Okay, after leaving us this high, came in. Now, this high was broken around this level. Okay, this high was broken around this level right here. Okay, so which means that this level here becomes our protected low, which price shouldn't go below. Now, notice what happens here. Price actually did not close below it, it only wicked it. So if your stop loss is too close, it probably would have taken you out before going on. That's why I said your stop loss should be somewhere below this area, right? So this level held and price pushed up for how long? 1, 2, 3, 4 days straight. It was just going up. It ranged, came down again. Now it came into this zone this time around. Came into this zone again. Just do the same thing. This is like a simple confirmation that's going to save you. So this high was finally taken out around here. So this time we just did a retest to this point. Let me say, okay, this is the high, right? Now price didn't break it, it just wicked above, came back down. This was where price actually broke, slightly above. Or confirmation wise, this was where it broke above. You notice that just retest, price didn't come as much as price didn't go inside. So here should be our protected low, the origin that broke the move. So price went up for 1, 2 straight days. Now price came into this level this last time, and you notice that there is no breaking of any high. So this was the last high it left. Price tried but didn't break it. Hence, it went below. So if you have been buying here, you have found yourself in a very, very bad situation. Hence, this simple technique that I use, which is simple market structure, right, is just what is going to save you. What saved me from entering the trade? Because I was waiting for it to get here. It got here. I didn't get into the market. I was waiting for that break because I know once it breaks, I just need a retest, then enter the trade. And I'm going to be riding GBP USD back for days. Unfortunately, I didn't see that. Instead, there was a break below. Okay, so which means that now that there's a break below, I just need a retest to this level. Price should just retest for me. Right? This level now becomes the protected level for me to sell. As simple as ABC. Right? As simple as ABC. So I need price to get into that place. I'll be watching out for a sell trade. If price can get here for GBP USD. Okay, so GBP JPY, very controversial instrument at the time. There's been a lot of range. Okay, but irrespective, price is still pushing to the upside, right? So now let's do that break and retest. Let's do the break and retest. This is my daily target. So if we have this resistance one, two, three, all of these resistance levels right here. Okay, let's take this last two resistance. If we extend it to the future, so you notice this resistance and this resistance are very close to each other, right? Or if you are taking only this resistance, which means we'll have something like this. Irrespective, price still came back to the test. Now, price came back, the retest didn't hold, it came inside. Price came back, the retest didn't hold, it came inside. So, a lot of persons, one of the reasons why you lose trades is because you just take trades from certain zones. You don't know that price, there are some patterns that you need to see. There are certain things you need to see, okay, that will give you that confidence to go into that position. Okay, so from this resistance, there was a breakout and mark here. This is that price struggled, came inside, so you probably lose money. Came here again, you just buy, you lose money. So I'm just teaching you one technique that will save you a lot of, right, a lot of money. I've been there before. Just take it as support or take trades as resistance. Price will break above, break below, lose money. Now, not until after doing it for a long time, but not giving up, but trying to find out why. How can I make it better? So this is one way to make it better. Okay. So now here, this is daily time frame. So I'm not supposed to do this on daily, but like that confirmation for irrespective. So I have this is a very, very key area for me. Okay. This is a very, very key area for me right here, right? Because this is the lowest point and price has been retesting this low point for a while now, right? Price has been retesting it. Meanwhile, we are still trying to get to this last high. So for now, price is just resting around, excuse me, resting around this resistance area. Okay, so come down to my lower time, 4 hour time frame, then finally my 1 hour time. Okay, so you notice that when price gets into these levels, there's a shift in momentum. Price is not breaking above highs. Now, instead, it's breaking slightly below lows. Okay, but because of that natural uptrend, there's a force trying to pull it back to the upside. So this is what will happen if price can go. So if price can come back to these levels, see these three tops here. Yes, there's a high tendency that price might sell. Okay, there's a high tendency that price might sell. That's one. Now, alternatively, if price then goes above this level, my bias then changes. So what happens is I would then wait for a retest around here for me to buy back to this upside. As simple as ABC. So break, retest, take your trade. Break, retest, take your trade, right? Break, retest, take your trade. Okay, break, retest, take your trade. So NZD USD, I think this is a downward instrument. Okay, good. Now, unlike Euro, Dollar, GBP that we're looking at upside, here we have the one that is tending to the downside. So the moment price broke this support, we marked here as a possible area where price should get to and keep falling, but that did not happen. And why? The same strategy, you just flip it for a sell. You flip it for a sell. Let me see where that's going to Um, just a moment so that we'll see where. Okay, I want to see where that break happened. Excellent. Now, price respected this particular zone initially. So you need to know where price is going, where it's coming from, and where it's going to. It tells a lot. Okay, respected this particular uh, zone right here and why. Now, unlike the uptrend, sorry, if you want to buy when price is falling and you are waiting for that shift. Okay, price is falling, it falls further, and you're waiting for that shift. Now, so let's say this high now, you have this high, you also have this one, and also another one. So technically, what we are saying is that if price does something like this and then goes higher, this at this point now there's a change in that direction, right? It's not going lower. Notice that this low wasn't taken out, means the price pushed higher. So all you need to do is to wait for a retest, sometimes here and sometimes it can come as much as inside into the other block for us to keep pushing it higher again. Now, in the case of a sell, when price you want to sell, but you need price to go high first. The price is going up. You are waiting for price to get to a particular level to sell. So this is what you would like to see. Then it pushes higher again. Right? All right. So notice it pushes lower. Now, in this instance, unlike our highs, when it was dropping, you are concerned more about the highs. So when it's going up now, you are concerned more about the lows, right? You're concerned more about the lows. Then price goes up again. So you also have this as your low, right? Good. Now we now have something like this. Then like this. And finally it goes lower. So once it can go lower than the last low, okay, so this would have been the last low. So once price goes lower than the last low, then all you need is a retest, then a continuous sell. This is the change in the momentum. All right. So this is exactly what happened here also. Notice here price was pushing higher and higher. Okay, it started to range, still pushed high. So notice now that the last low here was taken out. So we needed a retest to keep selling, selling until it changed again, respected this point, again sold massively. Now came here. So we didn't see that break of any low. Notice it kept pushing high, kept pushing high. There was no break of any low to suggest that price wants to come to the downside. Okay. So hence that's what we are going to focus on. Now that resistance is now serving as support for us. It's the point where we have been buying from. Okay. So leading up until now. So this is what we have. You can see a massive this support now. We are buying off of it. So price is currently headed to the downside, heading to this point here. Once it gets here, then we will be looking for that shift in the momentum for us to then buy it higher. All right. Until we see that shift, we don't get to take that buy. Instead, it can break this one and go lower. Okay. So can we sell NZUSD then before it gets to that particular level? Let's see. Where can we sell from? We can sell from around here. And I think price just got there this morning and is currently on its way down. Okay. So yes, NZUSD, we are still bearish and keep pushing it to the downside. Let's look at oil. Someone said Euro CHF. Okay, Euro CHF. But before we do that, please, I don't know. Are you understanding anything I'm doing here? This break and retest, change in that momentum for confirmation. Is there any understanding thus far? If you're understanding, just type a yes. If you are not, type a no. Or maybe. If you are in between, you can just do wait.
Yeah, no, now.
If you are in between, you can do maybe. And if
We do understand it. We understand.
you okay, that's you. You know, it's a personal thing.
Okay,
I
I
don't
Yes.
understand.
Okay, you two understand. Okay, that's good.
don't understand.
I understand. I understand. I understand.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you. Because I've been trying to simplify this process. Like I said, there's
I'm
slightly
getting it.
okay, good.
I understand, sir, perfectly.
I don't
Excellent.
understand.
Okay, you do understand. All right. Okay, we'll do something about that.
Yes, I understand, but how can one use it on phone, sir?
I understand.
On phone, it's the same thing. Just
You can use
zoom
it
in,
now.
just zoom in, zoom out. Know where your high is, know where your low is. That's all. If you can
I mean,
understand,
going to the last end. You know,
yes,
phone has a limited space to the left.
you have a limited. So
I
why
understand.
don't you slant your phone like that? Make it slant instead of uh vertical. Make it.
Make it landscape instead of a portrait. Instead of portrait, make it
Thank you so
landscape.
much.
Yeah.
Make it landscape so you'll be able to see more view at that point. All right. So yeah, and if you are using a Samsung Fold,
Please, sir.
very good. It's very good. Or an iPad. You know, it
Please,
comes
sir.
in very handy.
Please, sir, what's
Oh
our
yeah,
decision for NZD USD now?
NZD we are expected to
Yes, sir.
keep going. All things being equal.
We are
Yes.
expected. Okay.
Bearish.
Bearish. Okay. Okay.
Yes. The only condition that will change our bias is if price goes above this level. In that
Okay.
case, we can wait for a retest
Okay. 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 Okay.
level for us
Okay,
to
sir.
keep buying. But since we are not seeing that yet, we are following what price is currently doing. So we are still pushing it to the downside because we are heading to.
All right.
All right. So let's look at someone said Euro CHF, URCHF. Let me see. Euro and Hungarian forint. Okay. Let me use my. Now, the same thing we do, break and retest. Let's see where we are. This is my daily time frame. Now, Euro CHF is heading to the downside. Okay. Seems to be heading to the downside and is currently respecting this low here. Currently respecting this low right here. Okay, so on my 4-hour time frame, until we find then on my 1-hour time frame. Now I need that shift, that change in the momentum in order for me to look out for buy because price is currently very close to this support area. So all I need to see is a break of the last high. Now in this case, now this is like the last high. All right. This is like the last high. So once price just breaks, I have a retest, then I have a trade. So we can write it up again. Let's see previously when price came to this level and respected it, how it played out. Okay. I need a massive one. Oh, it took a while. Okay, good. All right, good. Now, so this last high, price came equal high but didn't break. So this last high, price came, did what we call equal high. This is where we have the double top, triple top, respected, but there was no break, right? There was no break above the high. Now, this time, they came lower, which means this now becomes the high. Now, this high was now broken around here. So automatically, we are now watching this low as our protected low. Price shouldn't go below. So you see that it respected it and just started going to the upside. It took a while, it was not immediate, but notice that even if you are taking a buy, you will still be on the safe side. It will eventually go in your direction, right? So, and it kept going for days. So this is how to catch in the trade. I think we are going to be doing, we should do a more detailed session on this, a more detailed session on this, how to catch a trend when it's just starting. When it's just starting. So one of the reasons why people lose money is because, so take for example, I see that price has been going up, going up, going up, and you trade normal support resistance, which you're supposed to trade with, right? Price has been going to the upside. You see this place as your support, right? Then you came, price came here, you bought, and it went well. Now price has gone above this point here. It left this place as support now. Came down here, you bought, it came back here, you bought. So you expecting price came here, you bought, and all of a sudden price went below support. So it can be very frustrating. And this same support, you extend it, for instance, into this level. This same support that price has been respecting. You notice at this point now, price goes lower, and you start wondering what's happening. You are simply late to the party, right? You are simply late to the party. You should learn how to catch a trend when that trend just starts. It helps a lot. But you need a lot of patience. What did they say about those who wait? The good things come to who? Okay, quite okay, but this fractal looks like breaker block. Please correct me. Um, so repeat your analysis. Okay. Because of time, I would just recommend that you go back to YouTube. Remember, I said from the beginning that you might not understand fully as a go, so just go back to YouTube, okay, and get the understand. Now, yes, a breaker block. It's like another block that's broken, and once it's broken, it can change your directional bias. You are right, but not 100%. Okay, you are right, but not 100%. Now, there's not enough time for me to explain the nitty-gritty, which that's why I'm suggesting that there's a possibility we might have to organize a particular session that deals with this thing that we are talking about. No, we should work on regulatory identifier. So let's quickly look at DE. I mean DE, okay, D40. Now, trading indices, whatever it is you are trading, even barely below US 100 and the likes, it's the same thing, okay? So this is DE. Now, the only difference is that these guys is like someone you offend that will keep you in mind and wouldn't do anything until after a long time before the person will come after you. Okay, so indices can be that, it can be that dangerous. Indices once indices is against you, doesn't forgive. Okay, doesn't forgive. So we are on a daily time frame now. Remember, look for highs that have been broken, previous resistance that have been broken. You can see clearly these resistance here, these equal highs that was broken. There was a retest and it held and it kept pushing for a while. Now it got to this point here and it created a resistance again and it broke the resistance. It broke this resistance here also. So we would have been having this one cleared you out. But don't be scared because I'm showing you one way to understand if it's going to hold. Now, if it holds, it's not going anywhere. Price is not going anywhere. You will catch up and you will still ride it, right? So let's mark till recent. Now, the recent level we are looking at here, this was the most recent resistance that was taken out. And you can clearly see that at some point, the first retest held perfectly. Second retest was a bit shaky, but it still held. So now this is the zone we are dealing with. Now one of the reasons why you use your 4 hours is to catch the in-between. The in-between is telling us that there's an internal support at this level. Okay, there's an internal support at this level. Now, basically from this resistance here up until this level, there's this internal support on the 4 hour. Okay, so because price is finding hard to come back to this level, stopping around this point and pull it up. So we can possibly catch a trade from here. Now, the same thing, although with this one now, it's too close, the range is small. Hence, if you are waiting for that confirmation to take trade, price might have just gone, right? Might have just, gone very fast. So here, we can come lower. You will see it clearly or better on your much lower time frame, which is on my 15 minutes now. You can see this was the last high it left, and the moment this high was taken out, we just needed to wait for a retest before we have the trade. All right. Now, sometimes the retest can go inside, and sometimes might not go inside. Okay, so in this case now, immediately touched here and kept going back to the upside. So if price comes back here, we are watching and waiting for a possibility of buying. Right? Buying anywhere around here can be dangerous if the price to come here. And if it breaks here, then we are looking at price. If it breaks this level, then price is looking at going back all the way to this level here. It's quite simple. It's simple. There's nothing. Some persons just come up with different strategies, SMCIC. All of this strategy is centered around what I'm just talking about. It's like a universal set. Then inside the universal set, you have subsets. These subsets are just individual strategies. Some people have a way of looking out for the market, enter. Just find what works for you. Okay? Find what works for you. But this is like the summary of what we are doing in the market. Technically, the summary. So what else? The same thing, just follow the same thing. My daily, okay, after my daily, this was a major resistance that I've been picking out now. Okay, so on 4 hours, you can see this level. We've not had a retest. Since price broke above, we've not had a retest. Instead, on my 4-hour time frame, price just keep pushing to the upside, but is leaving. Okay, so this resistance equal resistance here. You can see that price just came to test. So if we can use our 4 hours, sometimes 4 hours can be useful, and sometimes 4 hours is not doing anything for us. Remember, from daily to 4 hours to 1 hour. So hence, here 4 hours can be useful. Indices, generally, they can respect some of these mini zones, for them internal zones. The one on the daily are external. The ones on 4 hours are internal. Okay, so now this is how it looks like on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, now after going above, taking this out, tested inside, now price has retested this level. Okay, and it held and is currently pushing to the upside. So one of the ways you can catch it again, if you want to catch every Tom, Dick, and Harry, which means that you can be ready for some profits and some losses. You have some stop loss. Just look out for equal heights, maybe where price has bounced off of like multiple times, more than once, twice, 3 times. So you can see this high, all right? So if I take this high and I extend it, you notice that there was a hit around here and it's pushing to the upside. Okay, so in this case now, we most likely will still be heading to the upside. Alternatively, price comes here, then we'll push it up again. We'll push it up again. And in pushing it up, this is where I want my stop loss to be somewhere around here, because the moment price breaks this level right here, there's a very high tendency that will just have a retest and a continuous push to the downside. That's all. Okay, that's all. And how would you know if this level will hold? Your lower time frame, much lower time frame is going to give you that shift moment. So thus far, price has not broken above the last high. Thus far, price has not broken above the last high, and you can see it trying to push down. Okay, so if it pushes down, however it does it, as long as it breaks above the last high, then we'll just wait for a retest and we'll have it. That's all. So let's do coffee. Okay, page 1. Very, very interesting instrument to trade. It respects this same principle. Let me move on or down here. It respects this same principle on a higher time frame. Now, this is the trick. On a higher time frame, support, resistance can be very effective. But on your lower time frame, you need to see the confirmation that is respecting. And once you respect, it can go for a while. It can go, like, it can give you massive profitability. These are high probability trade setups. Okay. So every week, I'm just looking for like 2 or 3 different key levels that will hold for me. Once they hold, that's what I'm going to focus on for that particular week to trade. So see that overall, this is like a very good level. And this is coffee. So you can see this resistance level right here. This time around, this very first time, we respected this level, but took it out. Now, that means we are going to be watching out for the next level, because the last time price took out this high, we've not had a retest. We've not had a retest. So remember your indices. Indices too can behave like this. You know, when I use that analogy, someone that never forgives, you offend the person. So the moment price broke above, we didn't have a retest. That means you offended this level. Now price kept going, forgetting about this. Now I created another level, respected. But when that instrument will remember, you can see mercilessly take you out and come all the way to this level. All right. Now, the moment it got to this level, all I needed to see was that shift in momentum. Where is that level? Okay. All I needed to see was a shift in momentum. You will see it on a much lower time frame, which is the very first time price bound off of that level. Excuse me. Okay, good. Now, all the while, dropping, see that this particular, I mean a major high. Okay, so this last high here violated, taken out, which coincides with this high. Okay, so it was taken out around this level, which makes here my protected. Hence, started to buy. Okay, so if you take this one and you extend it further, you see that there was a retest, buy, and it kept going to the upside for a while. Now, if after you see this level going for a while, you now enter the party, you can see it came down, went back up again. So you need to be early to the party right now. So right now, it's still possible that it's going to head to the downside because thus far I've not seen any shift in the momentum. I've not seen any shift in the momentum at the moment. Oh, yes, there is a shift in the momentum. I'm so sorry. Yes, this is the shift in the momentum. This was the last high it created now, which means headed to the upside. So for me to have a buy, I need a retest. Then before we can keep pushing it again to the upside. Yes, I didn't capture that earlier. Okay. So that's for coffee. I think this is where we're going to call it a day for today. But before we go, any question thus far? Any question? Please head over to YouTube and watch this video again.
Please, can you look at I sent you a private message, Mr. Victor, please. Can you check?
Okay. That's Clement, right?
Yes, please.
Hello, sir.
Hello, good morning.
Hello,
good
sir.
morning.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Yeah, good morning, sir. All right, I'll respond. Please
Hello,
just
sir.
drop me your email. Yes, please, I'm listening. Go ahead.
I also dropped a message for you. I want you to help me check Cocoa. Briefly.
Okay.
I'm on it, and the market has not opened. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Hello, sir.
So, good morning,
Good
sir.
morning. Yeah, good morning. Yeah, please go
Yes,
ahead with your question.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma'am. Please go ahead. Good morning.
How are you?
All right, are you too?
Please, can you check on gold for me? Thank you.
Okay. We'll get to that.
Good
now.
morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Please, I dropped a message. I don't know if you see it.
Okay.
I was trying to ask. I don't know. On my MT5, my USD index doesn't work. I don't know if it is my fault or is a general rally.
USD index on your NT5?
Yes, sir. It doesn't work. It will be showing up good. Other players are working. But
Okay,
it just
please send me a private chat, drop me your email address. That will address it.
okay.
Send me a private chat, drop me your email address. And for Mr. Clement, please drop me your email address so that I'll take that up. Yeah, so we've had that. This is the high, the last high that price left. And price has taken out that high. Although our protected low is far. This is the origin of that move. So which means that yes, we should be bullish. We should be bullish. Even if price comes as low as this, but we should be bullish. We should be going to the upside. So you better be on the buy.
We won't go to the last one.
And then lastly, we are out of time. Lastly.
Hello, sir.
Sorry, let me just finish this gold, right? So there are two key levels for taking trades on gold at the moment. Is this level. Then on the 4-hour time frame, we have on the 4-hour time frame, we have this internal level where price has been bouncing from this resistance, this support, this level right here. Yes. So once we see any shift in momentum, then yes, a buy is be our most preferred trade. And if price does not shift, then we can back down itself, right? So yes, gold, I expect gold, worst case scenario, to still pull down all the way here before we can have a very, very good buy trade. Before we can have a very good buy trade. Now, for want of time, it's already 9 a.m. This is what I'll do. Let me just drop my number. Have any further questions, need further assistance, please just reach out to me. I think that will be better, all right? Let me just drop my number. Let's take it down right now. I have another meeting that started by 9. I need to go now. So let me just drop my number. Is that okay? Is that okay? Let me drop my number 080 265 82493. 00265 82493. Yes, just reach out and I'm going to respond to all your questions and every inquiry that you have. All right. Thank you so much. Please head over to YouTube and watch this video again.
Maybe